Welcome back to the next episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Generation X tournament here on the HomeBoiz channel, and for the final duel of the tournament. We have Atticus Rhodes going up against none other than Yubel, and it is a Red Eyes deck mostly. The whole idea is, while you do have lots of dragons that have high attack points and whatnot, you also have dragons that can just thin your deck like crazy and potentially even flood the field. So Mass Dragon dies, you can bring out Troop Dragons who can bring out more. Soldier Dragons can bring out more soldiers or troops. And with all the dead dragons in your graveyard, if you get your Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, it can have some really high attack points. The spells and traps really aim to do effect damage a lot. They have Dragonheart, which can do a lot more deck thinning, but overall it's just destroy things, do big damage, focus on Red Eyes, win the duel. And the side deck incredibly energizes the deck by giving it access to the Red Eyes Black Dragon much quicker and easier. So it's definitely a very valiant opponent, but let's take a look at his opponent. Yubel is a 0 attack monster who cannot be destroyed in battle, but regardless of who attacks who, your opponent is the one who takes the damage. If she gets destroyed by an effect, she goes into Yubel Terror Incarnate, who can nuke your field and then nuke the same number of cards on your opponent's field, and then that can turn into the Ultimate Nightmare, who automatically destroys whoever it fights and does damage to your opponent's life points. You even have not only ways to get out tokens in order to help get out Yubel faster, as well as deck thinners or auto summons, but you also have some negate abilities and cards that allow you to attack multiple times, so there's that. For the side deck, it focuses a lot more on summoning Yubel even more consistently, destroying things more consistently, and it could use said super polymerization in this dark deck in order to go into Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. It could even get rid of cards in the hand or utilize them in a more unique and interesting way. But with all that being said, let the duel begin. Round 1 between these two duelists, with Yubel taking the first turn, and it looks like we're just going to see a simple T-set before she passes it over to Atticus. Meanwhile, Atticus isn't opening up very strong either with a simple Troop Dragon, where if he dies by battle, he gets another one straight to the field out of his deck. It ran over the Cherry in Motto, activating its effect, which allows her to summon another one. Her, them, the pronouns are very unclear, but now she has 2 monsters on the field, and we're going to see a set card along with the Pot of Greed. And the Pot of Greed did give her the copy of Yubel, but instead we're going to see a double tribute just for a set monster before ending the turn there. So back over to Atticus, we're going to see the Red Eyes Fusion, and this has the very incredible upside of allowing you to fusion summon straight from your deck. The downside of using the Red Eyes Fusion is for the entire turn, you're not allowed to normal or special summon monsters except for whatever you're fusion summoning right now. So we're going to see Meteor Dragon hit the graveyard along with the Red Eyes Black Dragon to create the Meteor Black Comet Dragon. 3,500, definitely a formidable opponent to go up against, and it has the ability to throw away a Red Eyes monster from his hand or his deck in order to do Yubel lots of damage, but we're going to see Yubel respond with Zero Hole, which will negate the effect of an effect monster on Atticus's side of the field and destroy it. So Yubel's life points are not only safe, but Atticus no longer has the ability to summon more monsters here, so he has to switch the Troop Dragon to defense mode and end his turn. We are going to see Red Eyes Spirit activate here, so it's going to bring back the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Unfortunately, Meteor Black Comet Dragon is not a Red Eyes monster, so that is very sad to see, but still 2,400 is a lot of attack points. So we're going to see Yubel resort to the Graceful Charity here, and it looks like they threw away Ultimate Nightmare and Terror Incarnate because these can be summoned from the graveyard, hand, or deck by the effect of the whole leveling up, whatever you want to call it, process. Now 2 tokens with 0 attack will go on to Yubel's field in attack mode in order to special summon the Grinder Golem with 3,000 attack to Atticus's side of the field. We're also going to see Regenerating Rose get flip summoned here with 0 attack as well, and the 2 tokens get tributed in order to summon Yubel. So now Yubel will be able to reflect damage right at Atticus's life points without having to destroy anything, and we're also going to see Spell Chronicle here. Now, With Spell Chronicle, the user gets to remove from play 5 cards from their deck, and also whenever people, use spell cards, the counters rack up, and with every 2 spell cards, or every 2 counters I should say, that gets used off of Spell Chronicle, they can add one of these removed cards from the remove from play pile straight to their hand. Now, the thing about this is, if Spell Chronicle gets destroyed, these are lost forever, but I believe they decided to pick cards that they don't want to draw. That way their deck in general is just that much smaller. We're going to see Regenerating Rose run into the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and I believe that it copies the attack of whoever it's fighting, and once it gets destroyed in battle here by the Kamikaze, it's going to summon 2 tokens onto the field with 1200. So token number 1 kills Troop Dragon number 1. Same thing goes on with the second ones here, and we're going to see Yubel run into the Grinder Golem for 3000 to the face. At the end of the turn though, if you want to keep Yubel alive, you have to sacrifice a monster on your field, and that's where the tokens come in handy here, giving Yubel 1 more turn while she has no cards in her hand. So Atticus is going to summon the Soldier Dragons and just play defensively here. By switching Grinder Golem to defense mode, now he would only lose 300, so he's reduced the damage by 23 by forcing them to only be able to attack the Soldier Dragon or the Troop Dragon. Then from now on, whenever Yubel uses an effect, Soldier Dragon can summon another low attack point dragon from the deck except Psych, because Yubel just top decked Lava Golem, sacrificing 2 monsters on Atticus' side of the field to give him a 3000 attack point monster. So Yubel does another 3000 points of damage directly, and it looks like they decided to crash the Rose token and take a lot of damage to themselves in order to destroy their token. And that was all to activate Sinister Seed, because you see, at the end of this turn, Yubel would have sacrificed that token and then they'd have no monsters left. But by doing this suicide move and using Sinister Seed, for every 500 points of damage that they took, they're able to summon another token onto their field. So now they have multiple sacrifices that they can choose from, 3 to be exact. And now it's down to 2 with Yubel's ability keeping it alive. Now also, after Atticus draws for the start of his turn, Lava Golem does 1000 points of damage to him. So regardless of whether Yubel attacks or Atticus draws, this is his final turn. He summons Wyvern in attack mode. They destroy the 2 tokens, or they tried to, because the trap card Fiend Rose will prevent this last token from being able to be destroyed in battle. There's absolutely nothing else he could have done. He didn't draw too many spells or traps here, and we're gonna see here just load up to prove, hey, I could have kept going. Yubel's gonna crash, and Yubel takes the first round. Round 2 between these 2 duelists, and now Atticus wants revenge, but he wants to go first this time. We're gonna see the Red Eyes Fusion right off the back, going for the Meteor Black Comet Dragon in defense mode. So if Yubel comes out on this turn immediately and attacks the Comet Dragon, Atticus will take 2000 instead of 35, but more importantly, the effect still goes off. So by throwing away a Red Eyes, he chooses the OG Red Eyes Black Dragon. Yubel will take half of its attack points as damage. Since it has 24, that means that Yubel lost 1200, and now with the effect of Red Eyes Fusion, while this monster is on the field, it's treated as Red Eyes Black Dragon, as you can see in the purple blocks that is floating above the card. Second round between Atticus and Yubel, with Atticus going first, and he's going to open up strong with the Red Eyes Fusion, fusing the Red Eyes Alternative Dragon with the Meteor Dragon for the Meteor Black Comet Dragon in defense mode, so that if Yubel gets to hit the field this turn, that way if Yubel hits the field on the next turn, Atticus will only be taking 2000 points of damage instead of 3500. It also has an added bonus of, while Meteor Black Comet is on the field, its name will change to the Red Eyes Black Dragon, as you'll be able to see in this purple box floating above the card here. Now its effect is going to activate, throwing away the Red Eyes Black Dragon from the deck in order to do half of its original attack points to Yubel as damage, equaling 1200 points. Then, because its name is still changed to Red Eyes Black Dragon, Atticus is now also able to use Inferno Fire Blast to do its attack points directly to Yubel. So on the very first turn of the duel, without the ability to even attack, Atticus has managed to do almost 5,000 points of damage. That's incredibly impressive. Now we're going to see Red Eye's Insight, so he gets to throw away any Red Eye's monster from his deck in order to get a Red Eye's Speller trapped to his hand, and he chooses Red Eye's Burn here. Then he can throw away another monster if he wants to. Looks like he didn't feel like it. We're going to see a T-set, and it is back over to Yubel now to start her turn of the duel. So we're going to see Graceful Charity right away, nice and early, throwing away 2 Yubels over there. We're also going to see Spell Chronicle in order to thin the deck by a considerable amount. There might even be cards in there that she wouldn't mind getting to add to her hand, and just a lot of defenses over here. So Soldier Dragons is going to be flip summoned, and Soldier Dragons is going to go in by itself just in case. And we do in fact see Limit Reverse get flipped over, which allows Yubel to summon a monster with 1,000 or less attack points straight from her graveyard in attack mode. And if it gets switched to defense mode, both the trap card and the monster automatically die. But since they're using an effect here, Soldier Dragons gets to use its effect and summon another little trooper from the deck, except they don't, because Zero Hole will negate that ability and destroy that monster. So we get to see Yubel come out instantaneously without a single sacrifice, and since Atticus didn't normal summon this turn, Red Eye's Wyvern can remove itself from play from the graveyard in order to special summon the Red Eye's Black Dragon that got thrown away by the Comet Dragon. So now we have 2 ferocious beasts on Atticus' side, but Yubel has Yubel on the field, and we see that the response here is going to be Burst Breath, the trap card. With Burst Breath, Atticus is going to tribute a dragon, and I believe if any of their defense points is less than or equal to that dragon's attack points, they'll all die. So it looks like he sacrifices Red Eyes. So since Yubel's defense are less than 24, it gets destroyed. And same thing with the Comet Dragon with only 2,000 defense points, so it gets destroyed as well. But since it went from the monster zone to the graveyard, he gets to pick a normal monster and special summon it back, aka Red Eyes did not in fact get sacrificed. And it's going to come out into defense mode because since Yubel died to a card effect, here comes Yubel the Terror Incarnate. So now, on top of the reflecting damage ability, it has the ability to destroy monsters on its allying field in order to blow up cards on Atticus' side. So we're going to see 2,000 points of damage be dealt to the poor guy. It's going to blow up the face down monster in order to blow up Red Eyes, but since Red Eyes got destroyed by a card effect, here is the Red Eyes Burn. So counters on counters on counters. Now both players will take 2,400 damage, leaving Atticus with 3,600 and Yubel with a measly 9. He has nothing that he wants to play because Incarnate is on the field, so they both simply have to end their turn with no way to advance here. We're going to see another Red Eyes fusion get top decked, so we're going to fuse from the graveyard the Red Eyes with the Summon Skull for the Archfiend Black Skull Dragon with 3,200. They're going to go into the battle phase here. Very, very interesting. See the effect really quick. It says, if this card battles, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. And then if damage calculation is performed with this fusion summoned card, at the end of the battle phase, target a Red Eye's normal monster in your graveyard, and then inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack, and shuffle that monster into the deck. So my issue here is I believe the whole can't die in battle, the damage gets reflected to you. I don't believe that's a trigger effect or an activated effect, so I think Yubel still gets to bounce that back at him. Regardless though, since they battled, Black Skull Dragon will pick the Red Eyes in the graveyard, doing 2,400 for game. We have an incredibly close duel with that last one there, but here we are with the third and final round between these two. Yubel opens up with a Foolish Burial to toss itself into the graveyard straight out of the deck. Now we're going to see the Pot of Greed hit the field as well, and we're going to see 3 set cards before she passes over, one of them being a monster, of course. Now Atticus is going to use Cards of the Red Stone, which will allow him to throw away the Red Eyes Black Dragon in his hand in order to draw 2 cards, and then if he wants to, he can also throw away another level 7 Red Eyes from his deck. In response, Yubel is going to activate Limit Reverse to get back the Yubel that she threw away from her deck. So there we go. The big bad threat is already here on the second turn of the duel. And we're going to see Red Eyes Insight activate. So also throw away any Red Eyes monster from your hand or your deck. In this case, we see Wyvern hit the graveyard straight out of the deck, and now Insight will give him any Red Eye spell or trap card, so it looks like he opted for the Red Eye's Fusion card there. A Soldier Dragon is going to hit the field in attack mode with a measly 700, and now that he has a dragon on the field, Atticus gets to use Stamping Destruction to destroy the limit reverse trap card and do 500 points of damage to Yubel's life points. In response, we're going to see Raigeki Break. So throwing away a Yubel copy from the hand, Raigeki Break destroys any card in the field, and then, yep, they're going for the Soldier Dragons. That way, since they wouldn't have a dragon, they can't resolve Stamping Destruction, but since an effect is being activated, Soldier Dragon gets to summon a dragon straight out of his deck. He's going to choose the black metal. So Stamping Destruction still goes off. Yubel still takes 500, and the Yubel card still gets destroyed. But I wonder what the goal of that was, because now we have Terror Incarnate, which is significantly worse of a threat to deal with. And all Atticus does is play one card in his back row. Here, we're going to see Terror Incarnate run over the black metal in order to reflect back 600 points of damage before ending turn. It's going to blow up its ally Grave Squirmer and then take along the Black Metal Dragon with it. But when the Black Metal Dragon gets destroyed, Atticus can add any Red Eye spell or trap to his hand, so he's going to pick the Red Eye's Burn, which can do damage to both players. And at the end of the turn, we're going to see the face down flip over Call of the Haunted, bringing back the Red Eye's Black Dragon straight from the graveyard, and it's going to be sacrificed for the Red Eye's alternative Black Dragon with 2,000 defense points. Two cards face down, and it's Yubel's turn once more. Terror Incarnate here is going to attempt to attack to reflect big damage, and we're going to see Burst Breath activate. So both of the monsters on the field are going to be dead as fuck, and in response we see the Ultimate Nightmare, Yubel's final form, finally hit the field for its debut in this duel. And right back over to Atticus now to see what he can possibly accomplish. He doesn't summon a single monster, doesn't set anything new, and since he did a normal summon, Wyvern can banish itself from the graveyard to bring back the Red Eye's alternative Black Dragon card. So we're going to see what's going to happen now. Phantom Chaos is going to hit the field, and it can copy, I believe, the name and effect of cards in the graveyard. I have no idea what it decided to copy. I don't think it was able to accomplish anything there. Either way, Ultimate Nightmare gets to do 2,000 Atticus and destroy the alternative dragon, but when the alternative dragon gets destroyed, now he'll be able to summon another Red Eyes from the graveyard, and since he summoned the original with no effect, that Red Eyes has its attack doubled to 4,800. Its original attack, mind you. It's the end of the turn. Oh, okay, I see. Phantom of Chaos ended up copying Yubel's effect, and since there was no monsters to sacrifice, it ended up blowing itself up. So, interesting. I guess it wasn't able to deal damage like he would have hoped for, because Phantom of Chaos is incapable of doing damage to any player. But for Atticus, we're going to see the Infernal Fire Blast do 4,800 points of damage to Yubel. And now, since he still hasn't summoned, he can use the Red Eyes Fusion to fuse the Red Eyes and a Meteor Dragon for Meteor Black Comet. We've seen this all before. Black Comet is going to throw away the Red Eyes Baby for, what was that, 600 points of damage there. And he's going to simply end his turn with the Comet Dragon in attack mode, which would be 3,500 points of damage being reflected back at Atticus. For Yubel, we're going to see Fires of Doomsday so that they have 2 tokens in order to tribute summon for a face-down monster. And they actually pass turn here, expecting that something really shady is going on with their face-down card. And since Yubel won't be the one to attack Atticus, Atticus is going to bring the action, swinging in with the 4,800 Red Eyes Black Dragon, doing massive points of damage to his life points there. And now we're going to see it die, and since it got destroyed, Red Eyes Burn is going to activate. Now, here's the thing. Could he have attacked and destroyed the Meteor Black Comet Dragon? Sure, but I don't think the Red Eyes Burn would activate there, because once it's in the graveyard, it's no longer a Red Eyes monster. So this was, in fact, potentially his only option to get to this point here and still be able to win the duel in this final turn of his, what it might have been, since Yubel has the Ultimate Nightmare on the field. Red Eyes Burn will do 2,400 points of damage to both players, resulting in a draw. Now this will hopefully be the final round between Atticus, Rhodes, and Yubel, with Atticus leading off, summoning the Black Stone of Legend, which can allow him to tribute it in order to special summon the Red Eyes Black Dragon straight out of his deck. And by sacrificing the Red Eyes Wyvern, he can special summon the Red Eyes alternative Black Dragon out of his hand. 2 level 7 monsters to go into the Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Now, with this succeeds on the field, Yubel will take 500 points of damage every single time that they resolve any kind of card effect. We're also going to see the Red Eyes Insight throwing away another Red Eyes Wyvern straight out of the deck in order to get him the Red Eyes Fusion, which he cannot use since he's already summoned a monster this turn. And we're going to see him pass turn there with the Dragon in attack mode, fully confident. Now here, we're going to see Snipe Hunter hit the field, and Snipe Hunter with his 1500 attack can throw away a card in Yubel's hand in order to destroy any card on the field. And with the first card throwing away Yubel Ultimate Nightmare, it looks like Yubel actually hit a 6. Now, if Snipe Hunter hits a 1 or a 6 when it rolls a die, it does not destroy anything. So another effect will go off later on, but the other issue here is that Red Eyes Flare Metal actually can't be destroyed by card effects, so it's really interesting to see what Yubel might be up to here. Now, we're going to see her activate the Fusion Conscription, which will reveal a fusion monster in her extra deck in order to add one of its materials to her hand straight out of her deck. We're going to see Yubel itself get added to the hand. That's another 500, and Snipe Hunter is going to activate one more time. Even though it lands on the 2, the Flare Metal Dragon won't die. Yubel sets 2 cards and passes turn. For Atticus's turn, we're going to see Dragon's Gunfire, which can either do 800 points of damage directly to Yubel or destroy any monster who has 800 or less defense points, which could be the Snipe Hunter, and it looks like that's the target here. In response, we're going to see Limit Reverse get activated, special summoning a monster with 1000 or less attack points from the graveyard. Hence, Yubel hits the field already, and Dragon's Gunfire goes off on the Snipe Hunter. Now we're going to see Soldier Dragons get summoned to the field, and that is going to be the end of that turn. Fires of Doomsday is going to activate, but not before Soldier Dragons uses its ability to summon another dragon straight out of the deck. So we are going to see the Black Metal Dragon hit the field. Now with the 2 tokens, Yubel has potential targets in order to sacrifice to keep itself alive at the end of this turn. It's going to crash in for 2400 because Flare Metal is in defense mode now, and sacrifice one of the Doomsday tokens in order to keep itself alive. But Yubel now only has 5000 attack points, so very interesting to see how low she's getting very quickly. For Atticus, we're going to see the Red Eyes Fusion finally popping off, and in response to that, Yubel will use Zero Hold to negate the monster effects of a monster and then destroy it. So we finally see a counter for the Flare Metal Dragon here. Red Eyes Fusion is going to be sending away the Red Eyes Black Dragon and a Summoned Skull for the Archfiend Black Skull Dragon with 2500 defense points. Soldier Dragon runs over the token to possibly kill Yubel at the end of this turn, and we're also going to see Red Eye Spirit be flipped over from the back row to bring back the Flare Metal Dragon so that Yubel has to constantly lose life points here. Unfortunately, Atticus will lose a massive 2500, putting him at a huge disadvantage, and that's not all, because Yubel top decks her one and only copy of Super Polymerization, allowing her to fuse the Yubel on her field with one of Atticus's monsters, and 2 dark types make the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon with 2800. And while it is already strong enough to run over the Archfiend Black Skull Dragon here, when Starving Venom gets fusion summoned, you can pick a special summoned monster on the field and absorb its attack points. So Venom goes all the way up to a grand 6000 attack, running over the Soldier Dragons and eliminating Atticus from this tournament. Yubel wins.